Hey, if you want to send in a letter, send it to castlesuperbeastmail@gmail.com. That's castlesuperbeastmail@gmail.com. You
Here's
might send in a good letter, or you might send in this letter.
damn. Uh, here's one coming in from. Wait, where'd it go? What the? No, that's the wrong one. Ah, yes. Okay, combat in CRPGs after Disco. Hey, Wooly and Dad Stares At. Been following you guys for a while and decided to see if one of my impressions of Baldur's Gate resonated with you. I know, especially Pat, as he's been into this game. All right, this goes on for a bit, but the TLDR, as someone who dislikes CRPG's combat systems, I know that Disco's magic is hard to recapture, but do you think it'll become a trend to develop more dialogue-driven games that focus on writing without resorting to combat so easily, instead of
No,
expanding classic CRPGs to modern times and adding more dialogue and character development as a supplemental factor to combat?
absolutely not.
I don't think I think if that stuff was going to pick up and become the new trend, so to speak, it would have already happened, right?
Writing is hard.
It is
Writing
very
is
hard.
the hardest part.
And we stand there and we point at shit where like the writing is really good as like an example, and you hold it up and it becomes that one example for years until one other example comes years later. But there is always few and few and few examples of that. And Disco we're going to point at and be like, wow, look how fucking good that writing is, until the one other thing comes along. But that also is the result of, again, a wild freak accident of that game coming together with a writer being willing to put that work in, of course, and come at it backwards. I don't think so. I don't think you're going to see this, because it also doesn't always translate into AAA, quadruple A sales, you know? We appreciate it as people who are close to the industry that are following releases, but, like, does your average, random person going to Walmart to pick up the latest Madden give a fuck about how good the writing in Disco is? Until they do, you're not going to see this become a bigger trend, I don't think. No.
No, you will not.
But whenever a really talented writer is willing to sit and fucking bleed their brain into a video game script and go above and beyond, then we can appreciate those moments when they do happen. But they'll be far and few in between. And usually, if someone does really well, then by the time the sequel has to come out, it has to be turned around in such a fast time that the forces of industry and bullshit will fuck it up anyways, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know the deal. All right, here's one coming in.
Most game writers aren't alcoholic enough to write more games like Disco Elysium.
I mean, lives must be destroyed in the process of making this kind of game. So, when someone's willing to go that far, we'll see it.
Like, being an alcoholic doesn't make you a better artist, but being an alcoholic definitely makes you a better version of that type of artist, because you're writing about pathetic loserness.
It's the video game equivalent of the cop that is too good at his job, so his personal life is a fucking mess.
Mm-hmm. Write what you know.
You got to find someone that's like, able to hone that craft to the detriment of everything in their personal lives.
Some dumbass in the chat says you can't have true art without suffering, which is an overt lie, but you definitely can't have true art about suffering without suffering.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, so this one comes in from Iron Rank Marissa, an isekai specialist, says, hello, explanations the length of light novel titles and the man who got isekai to Vancouver. Capcom should have known better than to translate footsies wrong. I don't expect people to get isekai right, but I still would like people to have the right definition over the wrong one. But some interesting context first. The reason why many isekai and not isekai stories feel the same is because they're written under the same algorithms that promote similar feeling stories. It's also why the titles are often longer. To get to the top, it's better to have a longer title, just like putting red circles on a YouTube thumbnail helps the video. The term for these similar feeling stories is naru, which is from the site Shosetsuka ni Naru, where these stories are self-published and hopefully get picked up by a bigger publisher, as if your amateur YouTube video could become a full TV series. There's a discussion to be had over how systems like algorithms force a particular kind of story outside of an author's control. So, about what was said in a slop stream, an isekai describes a setting in which is narrower than just entering another space. And there are other terms for Narnia or Sword Art Online types of settings, like the debate if Smash is a fighting game or whether an edge case is an isekai or not is interesting. But a shorthand definition is if the original world could blow up and the isekai would remain unaffected, it's an isekai. Diluting isekai to include the Matrix or time travel stories makes the term no longer useful. That first part is pretty interesting there, because that explains so much about why those dumb long titles became such a trendy thing. If you're thinking about this, is because it's a public forum and people are submitting their short stories and people are upvoting what gets popular, and that rises to the top, and it has to grab your attention in the middle of a sea of too many things to get published and to get funding, then of course the titles have to be overly descriptive, really long, and like catch your attention with the dumbest possible concept to make you go, what the fuck is that? I'm gonna click on it. So I
was always under the impression that isekai titles were so long and absurd is because they're actually escapist pornography, and they follow Japanese pornography naming conventions, which are all overly detailed and absurd.
But you can still have a world with all those things in it and give it like just a title, like a thing that represents something interesting about the story or so. But
no, because you're competing with 400 other completely identical stories.
But that's the point. That's the point. The fact that it has to compete with those in a forum where you have to get attention, the attention economy directly determines your success, is like, yes, it's the red circle, it's the arrow, it's the titties, it's the reaction Mr. Beast face, right? That's what that title is. Like, oh, some again, like picking up girls in the dungeon, but also I'm a vending machine, and my little sister is a slime, the cutest of all. You know, like, it's like, yeah, that right. You said all these things, and one of those things is going to make someone go, what the fuck? I'm going to click on that. What is that about? Jesus, it I hate it, but it finally answers that question. All right.
I feel like the longer your title is, the less faith you have in its own core appeal.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I mean, the more bullshit thumbnail tricks you roll out, the less faith you have in your content. The more you have to, you know, it is what it is. If you have to rely on grossing people out with whatever they see or confusing them, then you know it's.
By the way, come to my stream on Wednesday. I'm going to eat 100 pieces of cheese. I'm not going to eat 100 pieces of cheese. Should I? That's too much cheese.
Mm-hmm. The difficulty, of course, is that a bad thumbnail can make a good video do fucking terribly, underperform, because it was not interesting enough, you know? So, what was it? I saw there was a description of someone was breaking down how there's the term I think they used was like truth bait versus clickbait or something like that, where it's like, okay, I want like it's like a thumbnail to talk about like, oh, dropping a basketball from the top of a dam or whatever, and it's like, okay, like this thumbnail of the basketball and looks like it's falling from high. Like, this is literally what the video is about. So you are interested in seeing that. Therefore, this thumbnail is not lying to you about anything. It is emphasizing what it needs to get your attention by highlighting the ball and, you know, whatever, so that you can scroll past and see what it is. But you get exactly what you came for versus the type of thumbnail where it literally is like, no, the thing on the thumbnail never happened. That reaction face never occurred.
Reminds me of your description of TruthBait makes me think of what used to be called a single serving site. Right? Mm-hmm. A single serving site was the my favorite ever was isdmxinjail.com.
Right. Yes.
Where you would go to that website to find out if DMX was in jail right now, and it would tell you yes or no. And it told you yes a lot.
Right.
It told you yes a lot.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
but that
not
moved
anymore.
on to single serving YouTube channels, single serving Twitter accounts, single serving Instagram or TikTok accounts. Like, I follow a TikTok account that is literally somebody rolls glass bottles like down a flight of stairs and sees if they make it to the bottom of the staircase. And it has no dialogue and it has no talking. And sometimes the wine glass makes it to the bottom and you're like, yeah,
sick.
But it makes me think of like Twitter and Instagram specifically, like, have like millions of like gimmick accounts, like nature music, and every day it's nature music, or bad recipe, right? And that's the account, and it's like every single day, and every single time it's like it's invariable that like after a little while the person who runs the account like hops on it to start telling you who you should vote for.
Yeah.
And you're like, I am never following this shit again.
God
Fuck
damn it,
you.
DJ Professor K.
I don't even live in that country, man.
All I wanted was funky beats. And now I gotta hear your Vax opinions. Fuck.
It sucks so fucking bad. It's awful. Here's the GoFundMe for my friend's race car build. Okay, unfollow.
They're not used to the attention. They got some success and they're like, oh shit, everyone's paying attention. I got a platform now. Here's what DJ Professor K really needs to tell y'all about. You know, the cops are out there and they're trying to stop you from tagging, and you're the GGs, but you can't be tagging.
Hey, guess what?
And
let's use an example. I just went
during these lockdowns
X.com and I typed in scrub quotes. And first of all, I guess scrub quotes follows me now. That's cool. But second of all, what do I see when I look at scrub quotes? I see a Reddit post. If I match up against a Guile, I will Alt F4 on the loading screen. He is a completely broken character. I scroll one more time. Mod to avoid certain character on the Tekken 7 Steam forum.
Oh, yeah.
0 interest to fight Xiao Yu or Lei.
Oh, yeah.
Good. Great. That's what I want. It's why I follow this account. Fucking great. Scrub quotes. Good job.
One of the best of all time trolls was someone posting on Steam going, every tournament is a scam, is a secretly a crypto scam, because these games are beep boop coin flip fighters, and the concept of being good in a fighting game is literally impossible. It's only 50%.
That's fucking great.
It can only ever be 50%. So this is all a scam.
That's fucking great. I love that.
Oh god. Anyway, all right, here. Last one. Dear Daddy and Daddy. Wow. Damn.
I don't care for that.
I'll take it. I like it. That's not bad. I just finished streaming Etrian Odyssey 1. The game was a lot of fun, even if the HD remaster could use more quality of life features. While playing the game, one thing that really struck me was the lack of story. The game feels more akin to a D&D game with a lot of actual where a lot of the actual stories in quick bursts that are spread out, whereas the moment-to-moment stuff is just things you happen to come across. When the game was first reimagined as Etrian Odyssey, Untold for the 3DS a decade ago, one of the new features was the addition of a real story mode. As I played it, I asked my chat who had played Untold and how certain moments and plot threads were expanded upon. One of them in the original game was the Forest Folk, a group of animal humans who made peace, a peace pact with the humans of the past to give them to leave their territory alone. The deeper you get, the more resistance you face from the tribe. Ultimately, you break said pact, killing many of them, and you continue exploring the labyrinth. The tribe gives up, yada yada, so on and so forth. The game frames what you're doing as wrong, and the only reason why you do it is because you're forced to by the chief of a village, who's later revealed to be a villain. Okay, this goes on and on and on and on, but the point seems...
Stop for a second.
Okay.
Stop it! One paragraph! We're reading these live on air! Stop it! Stop writing 2,000-3,000 word emails! Woolie's just gonna skip everything past the second paragraph anyway! What are you doing?
What are some games that added story in later releases that just completely fucks up the point of the original?
It's a decent question. I would say every fighting game of
Context, context, and content. Yeah.
Some people are saying Siege of Dragonspear. I haven't played Siege of Dragonspear, but I don't understand what the fuck you could possibly be doing in between Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. Like, it's a real direct jump.
Okay. Hey, Pat. Think of Luca. Now think of Luca. Now think of Luca holding a baby.
See, I immediately froze up because I'm like, but Luca is a baby. Because I thought of Luca from Wonderful 101 first.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Yeah, you know, there's the. I mean, it's not a full recontextualization, but it's throwing in the little extra cutscene on the end of Chrono Trigger 3DS that might link.
Oh my God! You're talking about Chrono Trigger?
Link it to a Chrono Cross. For anyone out there that appreciates that.
Oh my God! I thought I was wrong because you were talking about Bayonetta's Luca.
No.
And Cereza.
Not quite. Not quite. Lincoln triggered across.
Hey, you know all your friends and those heroes that saved everything? They got killed off screen by some fucking mid-boss fucking idiot. And they're all dead.
For legal reasons. You know.
For legal reasons.
It's for legal reasons. What are we supposed to do?
Fucking the actual worst ever.
Hey, man, they're running around as blurry little children that you can talk to. All right? You can talk to alternate time blurry versions of them. They're still there.
I don't know what that means.
You see the original trio at one point in one of the Dream State things. Anyway.
And they're fine because they're existing out of time. Chrono Cross can go die. How about that?
Banger battle theme.
Fuck off.
Can't take that away. I don't care who you are.
Everyone's been wrong about that for decades.
It's so good. It's so good. Yeah.
Man, somebody in the chat said Alien 3. Oh, you're so right. Alien 3 fucking ruins the ending of Aliens. Hey, Hicks and Newt and Bishop, we all got out. No, they died in the crash. so that Sigourney Weaver can act as Ripley alone, and they don't have to get them back for
okay. Okay, movie. Okay, going into movies is a little different in the sense that that's just like a shitty thing where a sequel will hand wave a point from a previous thing that kind of ruins it. I'm thinking more of like a re-release of the original thing that puts an extra thing in there.
Oh, okay, that's your thing.
Do you know what I mean? That was not there before. That now kind of fucks it up and or makes the context really weird by adding the extra stupid thing. I wouldn't even count FF7 Remake because the goal of that game seems to be more than just remaking it. Right?
That's a whole different thing. People are saying Star Wars, and boy, yeah, no, Star Wars has some weird nonsense with that.
The answer is Star Wars. That's true. That's true. Yeah. Okay. All right, everybody.
Wait, they all knew each other? Like Darth Vader is like on the Death Star, and he's like, "There's my old master, my old droid, my other old droid, my son, the princess of the Wookiee that was friends with Yoda,
hey
and
man,
some guy."
At the same time, lest anyone forgets, Jabba the Hutt used to be a human being.
Yeah, he used to be a human. He used to be a guy who kind of looked like me.
Jabba used to just be a chubby dude.
Just kind of like a schlubby-looking guy going, "Hey, you know what you're doing, Han."
So Jabba is a patch as well. It's not just about stepping on his tail and making shit weird. He was just some guy.
Do people not know this?
You don't know. Go look it up. The original theatrical release of A New Hope had the scene where Han is talking to Jabba the Hutt, and he's just some fat gangster.
He's just some guy.
He only became an alien later on, and then the fucking the redo, and then the re-release, and then the extra bullshit was added in. But if you didn't know, now you know. Go check that shit out. It was weird. And Jabba's great, obviously. So
he's a big slug man. He loves crime. I don't understand how a race of gigantic, disgusting slug men somehow became the de facto leaders of all crime, because it looks like Jabba can like barely feed himself. So like, what influence is he like using to even tell people what to do?
So the deleted scene bit. Again, might be wrong. I was told that the theatrical original release of the movie had that scene in it, and it was changed later.
Yeah, so every version of Star Wars is different, and they're all
People went to the
terrible.
theater and saw that version of the movie with that human Jabba in it. Is that not the case?
No, I believe it was a deleted scene, but regardless, the original version was some dude.
Okay.
The best version of Star Wars is the unspecialized version. By far. That's the one you should watch.
All right. Just looking it up. Yeah.
Well, that clip of me all yelling at people about their emails is already on the subreddit. Do you think it'll affect the emails? No. No, it will not.
Never. Why would it?
Can we get like a fucking email about like what do you put on your hot dog? Just some real banal shit. I put ketchup and a slice of cheese on my hot dog.
Cheese, mayo, and some onions.
You like onions?
I like onions.
I could go for some onions on a hot dog, but not too much onions. Onions is a strong flavor on a hot dog.
It's very strong, but like, what's the tier list of onion preparation, right? Because there's fried
onions.
Yeah. See, there's fried, there's caramelized, then there's raw. I actually
Raw
like raw.
onions on a hot dog is for psychos. You're insane.
I like raw.
You're crazy.
I got used to the tang of raw as a kid, and I really enjoy it. Right? I do straight up enjoy raw onions. They're it's a fun, extra strong kick. Not
like,
too much.
But
it's great.
I'm not a big mustard fan, but like mustard on a hot dog. If I get the hot dog and it's got mustard, I'm not gonna go ew mustard. I'm gonna go like, yeah, of course there's mustard. It's a hot dog.
Yeah. No. Slice up some fucking onions.
I'll eat it. No.
Dice them properly and just glaze that on top, and it really adds
My
a
local
flavor.
hot dog place fucking ran out of hot dogs.
That's
and I'm
crazy.
fucking so pissed about it. I went to go get hot dogs at them the other day, and they're like, "Sorry, dude, we just got burgers. We ran out of hot dogs. We actually sold like a fucking shit ton of hot dogs last week. We're out." And I'm like, I came here for a fucking kosher hot dog like that. I want a kosher hot dog, please. And they're like, we have no kosher hot dogs.
If your bun is bigger than the dog, get that shit out of here, please. Get that shit out of here. The dog needs to be sticking out, needs to be bigger than the bun, resting inside. And
at least a little. At least a little.
And it needs to be decent enough structurally so that, like, when you put the toppings on, the bottom doesn't fucking split apart because there's no integrity to it.
Oh, fuck off.
And then you're just holding a halfway sandwich with 2 slices. Put some fucking integrity to your goddamn bun, please. But don't overdo it by just taking a piece of French bread and slicing it down the middle.
No, don't do that either.
Terrible.
Just toast the bun. A little.
You know what? That was a good email. Good job,
I want to have a hot dog so... I don't have anywhere I can get a hot dog now.
We got Steam A's. We got Steam A's right around. I think
nobody out here. I asked for a steamed hot dog, and I got looked at like I was a psycho. I did not know that Steamies were like a fucking Quebec thing. I thought that was like a regular hot dog thing.
It is an exclusively... Well, not even... It's a Quebec thing, but it's an East Coast thing. Because the Quebecers that go to Ontario and Nova Scotia carry with them the traditions, so... Anyways, all right.
How do you make steamies? You steam the hot dog. What do you fucking like? What kind of a weird question is that?
There's an episode called The Montreal Steamy. You've heard it. It's from barely a month or two ago. Fuck off. You know, like, what is a steamy? We just did this material. You already heard this bit. Why are you pretending you didn't hear this bit?
Material? So what is this? Your tight fucking 350?
It was not a year ago. Fuck off. It must have been like it was this summer. Yeah. It's called The Montreal Steamy.
I don't know when
episode 216
anymore.
Uploaded April 25th. Fuck off. We just did this bit.
Wooly, April 25th was 4 years ago.
Okay, go away, everybody.